The bus rumbled to a stop, kicking up dust and anxiety in equal measure. Young men, some barely old enough to shave, stepped off, clutching duffel bags overflowing with uncertainty. This was no longer home, no longer a life lived by choice. This was boot camp. The air crackled with it, a strange mix of fear, excitement, and the unknown. A drill instructor, face hardened like granite, barked orders. Their journey had begun. For many, the first night was the longest of their lives. The soft beds of home were replaced with stiff cots. The chatter of family replaced by the silence of strangers. They were no longer individuals, but cogs in a machine, stripped of their identities and rebuilt as soldiers. Every day started before the sun, the piercing shriek of the whistle, a rude awakening. Each day was a relentless cycle of physical training, weapons drills, and classroom instruction. The physical demands were grueling. Push-ups, sit-ups, and miles-long runs pushed them to their limits. They learned to assemble and disassemble rifles blindfolded. They memorized military tactics and honed their marksmanship skills. But the true test was not just physical, it was mental. It was about digging deep, finding reserves of strength they never knew they possessed. Through the sweat and the struggle, something remarkable happened. They started to rely on each other. The boy from a small town found common ground with the city kid. Jokes were shared, burdens were lightened. They were no longer individuals thrown together by circumstance. They were brothers, bound by shared hardship and a common purpose. They were learning the true meaning of teamwork, that their survival depended on the man next to them. Graduation day arrived, a mix of pride and apprehension in the air. The once clumsy recruits were now soldiers, ready to face the ultimate test. They were deployed, sent to a land far from home, where the air was thick with tension and the ground trembled with the echoes of war. The fear was palpable, a constant companion, but so was their training, ingrained in their very being. Every day was a dance with death. Every patrol, every firefight, a reminder of their own mortality. They saw things that no one should ever have to see, experienced loss that cut deep into their souls. Yet, they persevered. They fought not for glory or medals, but for each other, for the brother beside them. Finally, the day came when they returned home. The world they left behind seemed both familiar and strange. The noise and bustle of city life, once comforting, now felt jarring. They carried the invisible scars of war memories that would forever haunt their dreams. They had stared into the abyss and emerged forever changed. Their journey had been long and arduous. They had known fear and loss, but also courage and camaraderie. They returned home not just as soldiers, but as veterans, forever bound to the brothers they fought alongside. They brought back stories of sacrifice and bravery. They brought back a profound understanding of the true cost of freedom. Most importantly, they brought back a deep appreciation for the preciousness of life and the importance of human connection.